The recording's in progress. Hey, what's up, guys? So, welcome to the Money Now show, where we discuss topics that are relevant to today about money and wealth. How do we navigate these waters and get to the promised land with your hosts, Arman, Vakili, and Deji Bankole? That's me. I'm Deji
That's
Bankole.
him.
And
That's Deji.
I think he's over there. Maybe he's over there. It's Arman Vakili. So, this week we're talking about a couple things. Talking about some transportation news. Very interesting.
Yeah.
We're talking about some brain news. We're also talking about some entertainment news. So why don't you kick us off? I know you have a couple stories here. Why don't you kick us
Yeah.
off and we'll do a 1-to-1-to-1-to-1. You'll close us out.
Sure. Yeah. Whale, let us begin.
A whale?
Correct. Yes. Can you see this screen, sir?
I can see this screen.
Yeah.
Sure.
So United Airlines is buying 15 supersonic jets. And so this is their second attempt. I don't think it was United Airlines the first time that they did it, but the first one, the supersonic jet, was the Concorde or something. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, like way back in the day.
Yeah. And a lot of rich people died on it. And so they kind of stepped away from the project, I guess, for a while until they could, master it. But it seems like it's become a really big project that they're taking on. They put, what do we want to say? I think it's like they put maybe like 3 billion into the purchase of these planes, into the development of these planes. And it's not something that is going to be coming out like right now, but I just thought it was a very interesting piece of news. And there's a lot of people that have been talking about it since they announced it. And it's basically like you can go from New York to London in like 3 hours, kind of like some crazy numbers like this, where it's like, yeah, go ahead.
And it's because it goes above, like it goes like above our what do planes fly, like stratosphere? It goes like above that, right?
Sure. Yeah. So I believe so. The science escapes me, so it's not something that I'm fully aware of, or I don't know exactly how these planes are supposed to work. But I do know that it's pretty insane to think about. And on top of everything else that these guys have been doing, so Kirby is the, excuse me, my back is peeling and it's like very itchy. Not that anybody cares.
No, go on about your back. Go. We need to know more information about that.
Yeah, we could just cut that out. That's not necessary. But so starting with 15, they're going to be going to 35 from what it seems like. And the whole idea, and this is the fancy part right here, because I remember there was like Gillette's Mach 3 or Mach 4 or something. That's how I learned about the word Mach. But apparently Mach is something that actually has to do with the speed of a plane or like the speed of an aircraft or something. And so it would be that could fly at Mach 1.7 and cut some flight times in half. New York to London, 3.5 hours. Boom is the actual name of the company. So United Airlines is investing into Boom, or like buying these planes from Boom.
I see.
And their CEO, Scott Kirby. Kirby is a cartoon character in Super Smash Brothers. While the terms are still not disclosed, they are going to be delivering some immediate benefits in the terms that there's obviously a lot of employment going to be taking place. There's a lot of people that are going to be hired to develop these things. And actually, there's so much money being invested into these companies, into these planes. So it's really interesting. The Concorde, there we go. The first one was in 2003. The Concorde flew commercial flights from 1976 to 2003, excuse me. And the world's first purchase agreement of net zero carbon supersonic aircraft marks a significant step towards the mission towards a more accessible world. So it's even supposed to be environmentally friendly. And I think you actually just pretty much called it. I think it actually does go out of the, I want to say, is it not the hemisphere? but it goes out of the stratosphere.
Hemisphere is the above the equator and below the equator.
Oh, I see. See, that's how you know that I'm not a guy to be talking about this. But the one thing that stood out, the one thing that stood out because of this piece of news is that I actually I own United Airlines stock. And so this is something that I was kind of interested about as soon as the news dropped that, you know, if no rich people die and if they don't get any bad publicity or anything like that, this could actually be a very, very big move for United Airlines and for humanity in general. So I think this would be a pretty cool thing to see happen. But again, it's not really something that's going to be taking place in the next few months. It says if it goes as planned, they'll begin production of this plane, which is called the Overture, in 2023, and the flights will begin in 2026. So it's still a little bit in front of us, but I just thought that it was a pretty cool piece of news. Supersonic planes are in our future, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. You know, I remember hearing before that like one of the fastest planes, I think commercial planes that existed like a while ago, and I don't know if it was this one that you're talking about, the Concorde, maybe it was, but they said that they huh?
Nothing. I'm just trying to like get a better picture for this. Go ahead.
Oh, I see. Got it. I remember them saying that they banned the plane in the United States because it was creating a sonic boom over like the land, and it was like destroying buildings and stuff. You know.
Well, that must have been like low flying, like super low flying. If that's the actual case, it's like.
Yeah,
because I don't think the radius of a sonic boom is that much that if it's above the stratosphere,
I guess.
That it will still destroy buildings.
Yeah, I have no idea, but maybe it depends on how fast you're going, I guess.
Sure.
Maybe
yeah.
I have no idea.
Science escapes me, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So I guess the commercial jets fly in the lower stratosphere, like right above the troposphere. So.
You just Googled that, did you? Because I can't. I was like, are you just calling that out from the back of your brain or what? Like.
Yeah. Just where it is, you know.
Sure.
I think troposphere or troposphere is where they fly mostly. I think maybe in the very lower stratosphere, but I think below the ozone layer. So I don't know where these other planes would be flying. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, cool,
man. So the next one that we have is your piece on Paramount.
Got it. Okay.
So Paramount Plus.
Yeah, so this one is interesting. It's not, you know, the fact that they are launching a cheaper $5 plan is not the part that's not really the thing that's interesting to me. Okay. What I think is kind of interesting is we talk about that, I guess. Sure. But the thing that I think is interesting is that, you know, number one, Paramount, you know, is owned by Viacom. That's like I
didn't even know that these guys had a streaming service. So this is like Paramount Studios, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Paramount Plus is just it's Paramount. So yeah, well, it's they're owned by Viacom, and Viacom is sort of like it's a media conglomerate. One like the bigger media conglomerates. But they own Paramount Pictures Corporation, CBS. They own Nickelodeon.
Gotcha. Okay.
They own MTV, BET, Showtime networks.
Yeah.
So those are all
I've seen their name also show up in like video games too. Like I've seen Viacom show up in a lot of video games.
Yeah. So what I think is kind of interesting is that, you know, Viacom is just another conglomerate that is jumping onto the streaming network service. So like just
Okay.
like Netflix, just like and I think it's just really a testament on the fact that even though the pandemic is going to be over soon, or hopefully in the next few months or whatever, we're going to start coming back out. What this is saying to me, at least, is that these companies do not believe or don't have that much faith in the viability of like movie theaters, and they don't have much faith in
Okay.
the viability of traditional media sources because people aren't watching as much TV. A lot of millennials, myself included, I don't have a cable service. I just
Sure.
have I just have a few streaming accounts.
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu, whatever. So like I think that they know this, and I think that they're just planning for this. And so this is going to be there's one of the complaints, especially in the last time. So this, I guess, was released a few months ago, and this is like a
Hmm.
new thing that they're doing, and they're adding more stuff to it. But what they were complaining about before is that there was almost nothing to watch there. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's a lot of nostalgia. Like like I think the Real World's on there. I saw Snooki, and like you got Nickelodeon. You got like so you're catering to the nostalgia factor for millennials. From 20 to 40, right? That's
Right.
the age range. But what I'm saying. Um,
Sure.
but so yeah, I think it's just really interesting. Or around that actually is around the age range. But so it's just they're jumping on this sort of bandwagon because I think that they know that the traditional media sources are not that viable anymore. And I think at
Yeah.
some point it's just going to be that it's that no company would not be doing their own streaming service. No huge like major company would not be doing their own streaming service. And so, I was like trying to find, lists of other streaming services. And the
Hmm.
big ones right now, we've got Netflix, obviously, we've got Amazon Prime, uh, uh, Tencent, which I've never heard of
Okay.
before, but they have 123 million subscribers to it.
It's
And
probably overseas.
yeah, I think so. It's Bangladesh, China, Hong Kong. And then there's another one. Um, it's IQIYI or IQLIL.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Haven't heard of that either. I
yeah, and
definitely
that's
think that's
Baidu.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah,
By
Baidu
okay.
is
Okay. Yeah.
is a Chinese multinational technology
Yeah.
company. So,
Yeah. That one I've heard
um,
of.
oh, Baidu.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then obviously Disney Plus, Yoku, which is an Alibaba group. It's they have like their own series, but that's overseas as well. It's in China.
Yeah.
You got HBO, Peacock, which I think I might have heard of before, which is a Comcast one, Hulu, Paramount, which is new. It already has 36 million subscribers, and it came out a few months ago. Apple TV, YouTube Premium.
So when was their
Yeah,
first run at doing the streaming thing? When was Paramount's first run?
I think it
Because
was.
they're
Huh?
yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So it's either. Yeah, I think it's. It says here October 20th, 19. No, 2014. So it's been a few years, but they probably
Got you. Okay.
it may have not been quite what it is today. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know about it until I saw this article, really, honestly. So, um, but I just think it's kind of interesting that a lot of these companies are going to be moving in that direction, and it just sort of like being a movie person. I feel like definitely being a theater person. I love going to the theaters. You
Sure.
know that I think is going to be a novelty, and I think it maybe was might have even been Gary Vee who was talking about how how that he
Oh, come
thinks
on.
that movie theater should be operating, and he's saying that um, it should be more like an experience. So if you like go to like the opera or something, right? You're going to be
Right.
there for a few hours, and there's an intermission, and then there's like you have snacks in between. You get up and walk around and chat with people, and then you come back down, sit down, and it's like an experience. You go to the opera for the experience. And I think that if we did something like that, where it's like, you go there, you go to the movie theater for an experience where it's like you spend for one movie, you probably spend like 30-40 bucks or something like that. And then, but with that, you get dinner, you get drinks, and you
Sure.
get like,
Yeah.
something like that. Maybe you get dinner first, and then like you get a drink while you're inside of the theater, and then you get like a dessert or something. That might be kind of an experience where you're like, yeah, that was great. And then afterwards you
Yeah.
have some coffee you can get to just to chill out and hang out with your friends. So it's like a night out. That may be
Yeah,
like
there's
a
a
better
place in Marina
experience for
Del
that.
Rey that does that. There's a couple of theaters. There's
Yeah.
one in Marina Del Rey that does that. Like they provide you
Mhm.
with like a couch basically that you can
Yeah,
kind of
right.
like
It's
kick
kind of
back
cool.
on, and they'll serve you
Mhm.
dinner, and they'll like, so it's pretty cool. And I think that, I mean, it's almost like what took these people so long to
Yeah.
hop on board, and it's for every major network that isn't doing it. It's like, what's up here, like, why are you guys taking so long to do this?
You're talking about to switch over to like a streaming service?
Two
Yeah.
things. It's like, it's kind of very interesting that it's taking so long for them to do it. um since the announcement that came, I think, for the most recent, they had a pretty large spike. So this is Viacom stock performance,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's why I was wondering. It's like, when was the first launch? Because there was a really big short that took
That's
place, or
that's
like
when
a
it
dip that
was.
took place.
It
Is
was
that what
right
it
then.
was?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
in March. Yeah.
yeah. So it's I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I think this will be another thing that I'll probably keep an eye on as well, because there's uh, all time historically, it's definitely above where it's been before, but
Hmm.
it's not really, like, because it's definitely had some major gains in its
Yeah.
previous history as well. So I think it's an interesting company to keep an eye on. If you're a just a consumer and you really like entertainment, I feel like this will be something else, because that nostalgia part is something that you actually hit on, because I saw an ad for the relaunch of Jersey Shore or something, where
Oh
they're
yeah.
bringing the show back, and like everybody's, oh my god, I missed you and whatever. But it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's been I think these guys are going to probably put a pretty big push behind it, especially if they have a
Yeah.
giant company like Viacom supporting them. So
Yeah.
should be interesting. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We good? Can we move on?
Hmm. Yeah.
Cool. I think like my news is all centered around transportation today.
Yeah.
Uh, Rimac or Rimac
Hmm.
announces a $2 million electric hypercar.
Mm.
This thing is beautiful. So just let's start there. It's a very, very nice looking
Yeah.
car. The fact that it's electric, it's all electric, I think is very, very interesting. It's being backed by Porsche, so you can kind of understand why they put such an emphasis on just the appeal of it. But there's also a lot of actual power in this thing, so it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna bore the people that aren't really into cars or anything like that, but so the specs say that it will go to 0 to 60 from 1.85 seconds. Very, very fast. For anybody who doesn't know, that's just super fast. Let's just think about that. It's
Yeah.
1900 horsepower. But what's I think is really interesting, it has two motors,
Mhm.
four. Excuse me. It has four motors,
Okay.
and it has two gearboxes. So electric cars typically just have a one-speed kind of a gearbox that manages the whole thing from beginning to end. This has two gearboxes. It has the standard one speed that's on the front of the car, and it has a two-speed gearbox for when you want to get crazy and you want to start
Mm.
moving really fast. That's sitting in the back of the car. This thing is not to be launched anytime soon either. So I apologize. I know that the theme of the show is money now, but it is something
Money.
that is coming for money sometime soon.
Yeah.
Sometime in the near future,
Yeah.
money. So yeah, so this is the deliveries are expected to start soon, is what they've given us. But they're trying to compete with Tesla. So Porsche is really trying to compete with Tesla in the electric car game, because Porsche just launched their own electric car that just came out, and it's a beautiful car as well, but it
What's
doesn't
the
have the
price
same
on
type
it?
of mileage. That one is like maybe 150, like 150
Mm.
to 200, depending on how you soup it
Yeah.
out. But the mileage doesn't compare to the Tesla, because they're trying to compete with the Model S, like the new Model S that's coming out. And that thing, it says that it's supposed to have 620 miles on it, on the Tesla. And so the Porsche does not have nearly that much, but it actually beats the Tesla in the actual speed performance of it. And it's just nicer because it's designed by Porsche. So it's really beautiful. But this thing is supposed to have 650 kilometers, which is 400 miles. So it's more than the Porsche version, because the Porsche version was about 250 miles that it had on it. So it's definitely going to have more mileage than the Porsche version. But because of the fact that it's just a beast of a car, I don't think I don't think they're going to come close to Tesla's range when it comes down to how far the car will actually.
Yeah, I mean the price is also way higher than the Tesla price.
This
So
is
I mean I mean I guess you're buying, you're not buying, you're buying something else when you buy this car, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're buying a car that you can go into the car show and brag, but you can also go into like the environmentalist rally and still be like, yo, I got a electric supercar,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. A car for both occasions.
Exactly. You're everything to everyone when you're in this car. So it's a beautiful,
Wow.
beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful car.
You need to
But
write the copy for this thing. So
oh yeah, everything to everyone. If you're a rich person who likes the environment,
yeah.
if you can just drop 2.4 million real quick, yeah, this might be the car for you. This is like the price range of a Bugatti, just to give
Yeah.
everybody a little bit of perspective here. Bugattis cost around $1.82 million. So this is a Bugatti price range, and you're not getting the same power, I don't think. But yeah, it's nice though. It's shiny. Look, ooh, shiny. Okay.
Yeah.
Righto.
Would you ever buy this car?
You know, if I was a billionaire, I would. Yeah. I think this isn't designed for people who are trying
Are
to
millionaires?
make monthly payments on it. Yeah, I don't think it's a millionaire's car. It's not somebody who just wants to. It's like if
Okay.
you're a billionaire and you can drop a few, and we're about to talk about a really famous billionaire because that's your next piece of news. But if you're that guy, or if you're somebody like that guy, you could probably get one of these things and,
Yeah. Well, our next
not even
guy
think
probably
twice.
won't do it, but
He might do it just to see what the competition is like,
maybe.
Not this guy. The guy that he's talking to.
So yeah, so Elon Musk is you want to get a photo of him? There you go.
That guy.
Okay.
This guy.
All right.
Cool.
So Elon Musk, he's talking about Neuralink. We all know about
Yeah.
Neuralink, right?
In case they
saying,
don't, why don't you give them a real quick overview of what Neuralink is?
It's just a little component for your brain. Helps you
Okay.
help control things. Well, basically, what he's saying is, it's about 5 to 10 years away. But he says that human language may become obsolete because you'll be able to connect with other people, just mentally. Basically, what they do is this is a little bit kind of crazy, but they basically drill a hole into your skull and then put the Neuralink in, and then it just heals. I would imagine it just heals around it or something, and that's it. So they fish the wires through into your brain, and apparently it can in the very in the very in the
This
very
sounds
beginning.
so crazy.
Yeah. He said that in the very beginning. Yeah, he said that you also probably wouldn't even know. You probably wouldn't be able to tell that anybody has it because it's flush up against your
Sure.
skin. So you would. So you somebody could have it, but then you would never know.
That's crazy.
Um,
Yeah, that's nuts.
but he says that initially it's going to be for people who have like either some sort of disability or some sort of like um, illness or something like that. If they have some that they can't. He said that if people can't have access to using some of their limbs, it may be able to help with that. If let's say
Right.
you don't have the ability to see anymore, it may help you with that. Like it just like helping you
Right.
with a lot of different types of things. And then after those things are kind of I'm sure it's going to morph and develop into something that's sort of an enhancer for a lot of
Yeah,
other things,
for
i.e.
sure.
technology. I'm sorry, i.e. like language. And another thing too, I think that
Sure.
is, uh, you know, Neuralink is really poised for this element. And we've talked about this a lot of times, on this show specifically, but, VR is going to be the future. And whoever,
Sure.
whoever has the controller, I think has a lot of power. Whoever
Yeah.
is like holding that interface between humans and technology is going to have a lot of power, and it's going to be a very rich company, which I think he's already a rich company. So but I mean once yeah, so that's sort of the thing I think is he's really poised for. And I mean obviously he's helping people in the interim, but I'm sure his ultimate goal is not, I mean, yeah, it's to help people, but I think that he's even said it before that he wants to he thinks that AI will eventually destroy us. We just have to learn to merge with it first, figure out how to merge with technology, and that's like the only way that he thinks it won't destroy us. Yeah.
Whoopee. That sounds exciting. I think it really is exciting. I think it's just
Hmm.
so grand of an idea to wrap your mind around,
Sure. Yeah.
that it's a little bit yeah. But it is pretty cool to be able to think about the fact that you can go anywhere in the world and you can immediately speak that language because there will be a
Hmm.
translation mechanism ingrained in your
Right.
brain that you could just talk to people from all walks of life. That I think is freaking
I
awesome.
mean, everybody will just
Um,
be speaking English or whatever your
whatever the
native
language
tongue is.
is, like
Yeah,
I would,
whatever
yeah,
your
I would
language.
go to China and I would be speaking Mandarin fluently. It's like that's
Yeah.
pretty crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
And that's like what my
I
puny
mean,
mind could wrap around. It's like we're not even talking about going into somebody and just hacking their brain. Like, what if there was a guy who knows how to do it so that he could just walk around and hack into people's brains and then start
mhm.
making people slap themselves or something? That's like, it's crazy. It'd go viral on YouTube instantly.
Yeah. It will go viral on YouTube instantly.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Anyways.
it's pretty cool though. Very, very cool piece of news. All right. So to cap it off, I don't know if we can beat this, but to cap it off, Joby or Jobby plans for air taxis, ladies and gentlemen. There are
Wow.
going to be air taxis,
Mm.
and this is what it's going to look like. This kind of looks like it might be too big
Looks like a
to just
helicopter.
land. Yeah, pretty much. It's like why don't we just call it a helicopter?
Helicopter.
But
Yeah.
it's a
I mean, you're not really going to be
repurposed
able to.
helicopter.
I feel like you're not really going to be able to, you know, uh, catch a hail a air taxi on a New York street.
Right. So that's the other part, right? So it's like where would you have to, first of all, it's limited to a handful of cities anyway. So it's like LA, San Francisco, New York, and I think like there was like one other place. But other than that, it's like, okay, well, oh, I see. It's because the propellers
Hmm.
point that way, and then they can actually start traveling that way. But again, it's like, okay, where would you have to go to hop on one of these things? I'm pretty sure it's like a Uber type of a thing. It's not like you're going to be hailing it, because who the hell hails taxis anymore? Like
Is it automated or
everybody's
something?
using it. No, 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 no.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
mean, it definitely has the capacity to be, but I don't think that you can like. I don't think people are that comfortable yet to just sit inside a
A
taxi without a
flying,
pilot.
yeah,
A
an, a,
flying taxi without a pilot.
yeah,
Yeah.
an empty death box.
Yeah.
um,
It's like, where
what's
would you
I
like
mean,
to
what
go?
I'd be curious as to what the price point is on, how much is a trip? Probably not for
So
the
that
average everyday man or a woman.
so that's what's interesting, is that it's supposed to be relatively inexpensive. So it would be around the same price as getting like a black car service or something like that. So it's not
Okay.
something that's because it would be way too out of reach, because they're spending literally, what is it, 400 million, whatever it is, on something like this. And 1.6 billion is they're supposed to be raising to help finance the operations until 2024. So it's like, this is not a cheap project. And if you
Mm-hmm.
can't make it accessible to as many people as possible, I don't see that this is going to be a profitable venture, and it'll probably die
Mm-hmm.
out and come back in 10, 15 years when the technology has become a little bit cheaper and it's easier for these companies to get people up in the air like that. But it's you know, it's an interesting concept, staying true to every other piece of news that I've shared. It's not immediate, so this is going to come out. It says it's supposed to be approved by 2023. I believe that the actual operation itself, like, it's not going to happen anytime obviously sooner than that. So let's say
Mm.
2025, 2026 is when, like, you can
Yeah.
actually expect these things to take place. So yeah, what did you just
I,
Google right now? What did you find
I,
out?
I do. I just sent you something in the chat. I have one
Okay.
more travel. I have one more
Oh, okay. You're trying to cap it
I have
off.
one more thing for travel.
It's a YouTube.
Transportation. It is YouTube.
It's a YouTube link. Here we go. Oh, this thing.
Have you seen this already?
Yeah, I have.
So basically, Tony Stark.
Sure. Yeah.
Either that or Rocket Man from the. This video is a little choppy.
It's pretty legit though.
Yeah. The problem with this
Imagine
though,
being the guy in the raft.
like who just got left behind.
Yeah.
But the one thing about this that is a little bit, iffy is what if your nose starts itching, you know?
Right. I mean, what if
Or what
you
if what if a bug gets in your mouth, you know?
yeah, you got to keep your mouth closed. You can't be trying to talk to people. You can't have conversations on your Bluetooth while you're flying in this thing, until it actually becomes an enclosed type of a thing, like the Iron Man suit, where all of the noise and the wind pollution and all that stuff is
Uh-huh.
gonna be sounded out, muffled out, and then you can actually talk to, Jarvis or whoever.
Hmm.
um but it looks freaking cool, man. If this
Yeah.
ends up because this is obviously developed by maybe this guy or like his team of
Yeah.
people, so it's
Right.
definitely not anything that's even
No.
remotely public.
No.
But August 7, 2020 is when this thing got dropped, and it has 30
Yeah.
million views. It's less
Hmm.
than a year, there's 30 million people watching this thing. So it's like, ha, first one. Is this where you read?
What?
The first comment is what you just said. Is that where you got it?
Oh no, I didn't actually. That's hilarious. I didn't even see that.
First comment, the most popular comment. What happens if you need to scratch your nose?
Yeah. That's one thing I was thinking about when I was watching it before. I was like, dang, like you're just like your hands are occupied. You can't do anything.
This is funny. 21 kid watching this as historical documentary, being like, flying jet suits used to look like this. That's
Yeah,
great.
right.
Holy cow. This is crazy. This is amazing, dude. Technology is it's insane. Like there's a part of me that I'm like, I can't wait for all these things to happen. But then I didn't
Yeah.
expect it to happen as quickly as it's been happening. And I'm like, yo, this is like the world's about to completely change in the next 5 to 10 years. This is gonna be a different world altogether. It's yeah, it's whew.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, very cool, man. It's very,
Yeah.
very interesting. I'm very, very fascinated by it. There's a guy in Israel. Let me actually see if I can flying jet suit.
Another thing that
Israel.
they're talking about is using it um, to help like find people in like remote areas, and then like
Mhm.
and bring them to safety.
This
That's one of the
is
use
insane.
cases for them. So
Have you seen this one?
no.
Yeah. That dude is actually getting up there. Like there's a few clips that I saw that like uh they're like he's up where the planes are and he's just flying.
Yeah.
The one that we just saw, he's kind of like maybe 15, 20 feet above sea level, like he's like above the surface.
Mm-hmm.
These guys just are
Yeah, they're
flying, man.
just right.
It's it's insane. It is
Yeah.
insane. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's see what we can get here. Here we go. And he can actually scratch his nose.
Yeah. Very important.
It is. It really is. And he has a helmet on that's covering his entire face. This is sick as hell, dude. All right, go in the air. Let's see it. Let's see you fly off. Oh, boom, right here. And I think he's about to go up. I think he's about to go up. It's pretty much the same. Oh, he's gone. He's off. Sheesh. Holy cow, man. Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude. Oh my God, dude. Holy shoot.
Yeah. Well, he's like
Wow.
way above there.
Wow, man.
Where is
Oh
this?
my God. This is Dubai.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Oh my God. It would be some like rich trillionaire in Dubai doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm freaking out just watching this. Like, it's like, whew. Yeah, and of course he needs a parachute because I don't foresee him just landing on his feet, like coming down. It's like just landing.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. This was yet another episode of Money Now, or Money
Yeah.
in the Near Future,
Yep.
as my stories prove. Um, yeah, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool
Yeah.
series of news this week. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for tuning into our show. For all the people who are watching, people who are on Facebook, congratulations. You've now seen the entire show. People who are watching on YouTube, awesome. Thank you so much for watching. And we will see you guys next week, same time, 5:30 on Thursday, PST. Now, if you're looking for other stuff, other the cool stuff we put out, just find us on YouTube at Nahesh Agency, on Facebook, Nahesh Agency, and on Instagram, Nahesh Agency. And if you want to find Arman, it's at officially Arman. And if you want to find me, it's on all the platforms, really. And then if you want to find me, it's Deji Bankole on pretty much all the platforms as well. So yeah.
That's the man right there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. We will see you guys next week.